Today, we shall be taking a look at the economic recession in Nigeria, the second time under President Muhammadu Buhari, and the third time he is overseeing a recessed economy as Nigeria's head of state. Getting an economy out of recession should be a collective effort, and so we shall be taking a look at the roles the federal, state government, as well as the private sector will play in not only getting the economy out of recession, but also placing it on the right path of growth and development. My guest is Dr. Obiora Okonkwo, a business executive and active player in Nigeria's economy in various sectors, including entertainment and aviation. He sits on top of United Nigeria Airlines. He holds a doctorate degree in political economy, a professional fellowship doctorate from the Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria. He's the winner of the Sun Newspaper Entrepreneur of the Year Award for 2019. He's also the president of Nigeria-Russia Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Online.
Thank you so much for staying with us. My guest is here, Dr. Obiora Okonkwo, President, Nigeria-Russia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you so much for joining us.
Always happy to be here, Mechi. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be focusing on the economy in recession. It's a collective responsibility. There are optimisms coming from government that sooner than later we'll exit this recession. Let's take a listen to the projections of the central bank governor as a catalyst of our discussions.
Sustained implementation of our intervention measures, we do expect that the Nigerian economy could emerge from the recession by the first quarter of 2021. We also expect that growth in 2021 will attain 2.0%.
Very optimistic central bank governor. The Minister of Budget, Finance and National Planning is also quite optimistic that within a few months we'll get out of the recession with the same speed we went into it. Did you share that optimism?
Why should I not? It makes me happy, and I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are happy to hear that the recession will not last beyond the first quarter. But do I have concern? Yes. My concern is believing that all the right things are being done, that are in place to make sure that happens. But if it does, that would be great. It's not impossible. You know, you can actually get out of it within 3-4 months if the right things are in place.
What are the right steps to take?
Well, you see, you had mentioned in your opening address that during the process or the period of recession, it takes a collective effort. I heard you say that, which is correct.
Absolutely.
You see, you talked about federal government, you talked about state, you talked about local government.
And
you said it right, but then the private sector actually is the bigger issue. The main focus and the core area of getting out of the recession quickly is private sector. Government primarily do not create jobs. Government primarily do not create wealth. But government is expected at all levels to embark on policies and projects that will motivate, encourage, support the private sector to grow. When the private sector grows, they create wealth, they create jobs, and when people are gainfully employed, when salaries are in increase, when business productivity is high, when the consumer confidence is high, when expenses is high, then you're out of recession. But government don't do all these things. It takes the policy. And for that policy, great. I'm sure for the CBN governor to say that coming out of it in the next first quarter of 2021, certain policy would have been in place. But the question is, what about the implementation of those policies? I hope they will have a strong mechanism to monitor them and implement them. Because you see, one of the biggest issues I see happening around us now is that the bureaucracy which is supposed to be a sector that understands, interprets, and implement the government policies, is very weak at all levels. A little bit in the federal, you can still see it. In the state, neither here nor there. But if you go to the local government, there's little or nothing going on, because they have squeezed them of everything. But you see, when you're talking about this coming out of reception, it's about the life that are lived at the grassroots, different areas. Not even the life in Lagos, the life in Abuja, but it's life in so many other local governments in Nigeria. And that is the essence of having local government administration. I remember growing up, Amechi, the biggest government officer we see then was local government officer. They are the biggest government officers.
The nearest
within our own community and area. Obviously, that time state government was farther because it didn't have 36 states. Maybe it was 19 states then, and on and on. But you see, that was when the administration then understood the importance of local government administration. So, as it is today, this hope is great, but we can only rejoice in it when it becomes a reality. But I've seen also certain pronouncement of government with the best of intentions. Maybe the funds are provided by the CBN. How is the access? Because really what
the end user access.
What the government needs to do is to stimulate the economy, provide, some subsidies, some support system to the private sector to do their thing. But I see some government officials talking about government creating jobs. I don't know how they do it in a capitalist system. You can only talk about that in a socialist economy.
You tried to explain it earlier, and I see it as symbiotic.